in the last installment of Incredible Critics.
Yeah, I said it.
Truth or Dare. No Truth or Dare.
No Truth or Dare. Unless it's
What?
to
Was that
watch
an option?
Truth or Dare. Wasn't that just a movie, a bad
was.
PG-13
Yeah,
movie that
right.
came out?
It wasn't a bad movie. Listen, bad movies. I watched Truth or Dare 7 times before I watched Barbie again.
We are the Incredible Critics. Incredible, not because we're great, but because our credibility should seriously be questioned. I am Ben Franco. This week, we're going to be talking about what's on, given a main topic, talking about Hollywood remake of movies, and then rounding it out, ending it on talking about the first season of Jack Ryan. Joining me this week is Tim Lasers Gruber.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah. And none other than Big Tuna himself, Andrew Moore.
How you doing?
I am doing well. We don't normally start out by talking about some movie news, but I think this week the best way to start out is to talk about the Academy pulling back on their award of outstanding performance in outstanding performance in popular film.
No. Yeah. No.
Is
Popular-
that it? Outstanding achievement in popular film.
Yes.
There it is. The
Nailed it.
Academy this week decided, you know what, for this year, not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Not gonna. They saw the universal hatred of this and decided to just backtrack and not do that at all.
Yeah. Right.
Really funny. They don't even name the award in the press release that came out. They just said, we're not going to add any new
There's a
awards
thing.
this year.
So we're gonna workshop a few things. It's gonna workshop a few things around. See what happens.
So, guys, what do you think of that? That's pretty big for them to walk that back.
I don't feel strongly about most things in the
In life,
in
general.
the having to do with the Academy. So I don't really have much of an opinion. I'd rather not get involved.
Tim, I know you really hated this move. What did you think about them walking it back?
Well, I think this is the year of giant conglomerates walking things back because people get upset about them. Or the year of giant conglomerates moving things forward because of the same reason. I don't know. I think it's probably smart. People saw through their ruse. Let's just put it that way. That's in my opinion.
Sure.
People saw through the ruse and were like, nah, we're not fooled. We're not fooled, Academy.
I mean, from my perspective, there was no ruse. They weren't even
From my
trying.
point of view, the Jedi
I
are
guess,
evil.
yeah, right. They weren't even trying to fool anybody, right?
Their statement essentially said, we want more viewers, and the movies that make the most money don't show up in our award show. So
Yeah.
here's what we're gonna do.
And so we're going to shorten the thing, and we're going to do this, and we're going to tape stuff during commercial breaks and then air it later. And
Yeah.
I still don't think that they can even hit close to a 3-hour mark on this thing.
No.
But, I might, maybe we'll watch the intro of the show. Maybe I'll watch clips the next day to know. But
I mean, so I didn't hate this move, but it's probably a good idea that they're walking it back. There was enough dislike of it that...
Well, yeah. And I think part of it that they said was that they wanted to make sure there was no confusion and they needed to get clarity and get more input from the voters, the Academy voters, members, whatever.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing too, because there was a lot of movie people who were like, "What?
Yeah.
Huh?"
I mean, I'm gonna watch just to see how many times they make fun of this.
It just kind of feels like somebody had the idea and they didn't clear it through enough people, and they're like, "Yeah, well, we'll make this a thing." And now
Put it in the
they're
press
like,
release.
"Oh, we didn't think about this at all, did we? So maybe we'll just not do that." Just very wishy-washy.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Well, let's go ahead and kick into it. And now let's talk about what we've been watching. Frankie's favorite music.
Oh, hold on. Here's my best Frankie impression.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Hey.
Hey, there it is.
Nailed it.
For those of you not watching, Tuna just got really close to the webcam because for some reason Frankie likes for you to only see 3/4 of his face while we record. Tuna, what have you been watching this week?
Well, I've been watching actually a lot of stuff since I started the podcast and started with you guys, and haven't talked about a lot of it yet. But one of my buddies and I have been watching. We watched all of Into the Badlands that was on Netflix, and we watched all of the Shannara Chronicles, and we are now watching The 100, which is a lot better than I thought a CW show would be.
There are a few CW shows that are like that. Riverdale's like that. If you haven't seen it, it's
I'm
like
not.
this
It's a lot
show.
worse than it should be. You're right, Ben.
No.
What?
I thought the opposite. I expected it to be terrible, and I was
I
like,
didn't even watch it.
this
Was
it's
not even gonna watch it.
You should give it a shot.
I'm surprised,
It's
Ben,
way
that you would
better.
like a comic book TV show so much.
So much. Shocking though, without any superheroes.
Well,
And The Walking Dead. See,
What?
you guys say I don't like comic books.
I can't get into The Walking Dead at all, to be honest.
Oh, that's a
I
discussion.
tried
Finally
watching
got out of
season
The Walking
one. Just not my thing.
But you like the 100?
Yeah, there's it. Maybe it's because I had really low expectations going in.
That
I've just
always
kind of
helps.
Been kind of wanting to just watch stuff. And it's a social. Watching shows is a social thing for me. So my roommate, housemate Josh, and I watch stuff every now and then. It's kind of a social thing. And there's a lot more depth and a lot more allowing of people to actually die than I anticipated.
Oh.
like main characters.
Yeah. Where I'm at in season 2, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but one major character dies, and it's really emotional. And I was kind of impressed,
I
actually.
mean, if you're into that, then you really should watch The Walking Dead.
I don't like zombies anymore, man. I'm sick of zombies.
Done with the zombies.
The real zombies are the other people.
Fair enough.
Humans.
Tim, what have you been watching?
Well, I finished up Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that I was way behind on.
You
I-
realize this is the first time in probably 12 weeks that it hasn't been Stargate.
Are you so
to be
happy?
the first thing to come out of your mouth?
To be
I'm
fair,
so happy.
Stargate is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, so take that, Ben. That was great. Okay. What was I saying? I finished up
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Shield. We finished up this season of The Flash, which I think it was better than the last season for sure. What else have I finished? What else we just do? I don't remember. I've been playing the new there was a new expansion for Destiny 2 this week. So Brittany and I've been
Forsaken.
yeah, we started slowly playing through Forsaken.
I want to play that.
So they made so many changes. It feels like everybody's back on it again, which is great for
They
that
brought-
game.
You can have 3 shotguns now.
Yeah, you can put guns in all the weapon slots. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
But it's great. It's great. So we've been slowly playing through that. Story wise, they nailed it this time. They got some ridiculous cinematics. Even if you don't 100% know what's going on, I think people would dig it. But if you followed any of the story at all or any of the characters from Destiny, it's emotional. It's good. And outside of that, that's pretty much all. We were almost gonna see a movie this week, and Brittany said, "Let's see Mamma Mia 2," and I said, "I'm gonna go throw up," and we didn't see it. So we didn't see that one. So
That's a nice way to get out of that.
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Oh man, well, I finally got around to seeing Black Panther since it was released on the
Wakanda
Netflix.
Forever.
Wakanda Forever. It was really good. It was really good. It was probably top 3 Marvel movies.
Okay.
But
So would you say Academy Award worthy?
all right, so I have to caveat what I'm going to say because
That's fine.
what I'm going to say, I haven't seen a lot of movies this year. So I'm not going to say that there are other movies more deserving of a Best Picture nomination because I haven't seen enough movies to be able to give you that list. But this does not feel like a Best Picture nomination movie to me. It's not.
I agree.
Good. I know a lot of people are arguing for it. A lot of people really love the movie, and it's a great movie. But Best Picture,
I'd say definitely could win some Academy Awards, but not
for
Best
sure.
Picture.
For sure. It still falls into superhero tropes.
Predictability too.
Yep.
So dang predictable.
I mean, the performances are great.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot more context for the sister character in Infinity War. I don't think why
she's so smart, right?
Well, and just like I had no attachment to her character whatsoever. She could have been anybody from Wakanda to me because she's important in Infinity War, but not that important. So,
right.
But I thought she was fantastic, and their dynamic was great.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Tim, do you feel like it's deserving of a Best Picture nomination?
No.
Okay.
I would say no. Yeah, same deal. I think it was really phenomenal performances, but I don't know that it was like Academy Award performances.
A triumph.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is that enough to warrant Best
totally.
Picture?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't.
I mean, personally, I would say that Infinity War is probably better. Having only seen both movies once, I think Infinity War has a better villain, and you don't need to develop your heroes as much because they've already been developed over the previous 19 movies. So it's really
yeah, developing your characters would just be like burying a dead horse at that point.
Right. But I mean, like that makes it a more intriguing film and a different type of film. So I think that it's more. But anyway, the other thing that I watched is Sierra Burgess is a Loser.
What is that, Ben?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
So that
Was
is
it in black and white?
Is it an indie film?
Is this foreign?
It's none of those things. And I hate you. No, this is a straight to Netflix movie with the actress that played Barb on Stranger Things.
Oh, nice.
Was she dead in this one too?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Not.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen it.
Yeah. She died and nobody cared. No, she plays a high school teenager, and I mean, I don't want to pull up the IMDb, but it's pretty much like your high school drama, except that it doesn't fall into the common tropes of a high school drama. It kind of,
so what you're saying is you watched a high school romance, but it wasn't To All the Boys I've Loved Before, like Frankie.
Right. But it,
Frankie.
It specifically goes, so like, it's not about like the nerdy girl becoming the popular chick. It's like, about the, having the self-confidence to be exactly who you are and stuff like that. So I enjoyed it. I probably wouldn't let a teenager watch it because there are some more adult themes than I would be comfortable with, but it was a fun watch. It was a fun watch.
Thank goodness we're not sponsored.
It's fine.
VidAngel.
I mean,
a place for your eyeballs to feel clean.
They may come back in a little bit. Next, Micah Marshall on our Facebook wanted us to talk about remakes. So we'll talk about remakes here in a second. Namely, are you a fan of remakes, or has the remake craze finally reached the point where it needs to die? Tuna, I think you kind of had a strong opinion on remakes in general.
I don't know if I'd say it's a strong opinion, as it's just the one I formulated within 5 minutes of you asking the question about whether we wanted to talk about remakes. Personally, and I feel like you guys are probably along the same lines I am, as somebody who works in this industry and really enjoys, well, not necessarily the film industry, but in video. I love seeing original ideas and strictly for film come to life, and I try to support them and go see them in theaters whenever I can. And that being said, I'm not against remakes or sequels, but it's a market that's so oversaturated right now. Just
sure.
having another remake sometimes can feel frustrating, especially for somebody like me who would love to see more original stuff like Annihilation or Ex Machina, which are both by the same director.
Yeah, interesting that you choose those two films.
I just thought of them because Annihilation was the first one that came to mind, and Ex Machina was by the same director, so just that way. But things like Silence by Martin Scorsese, that wasn't based off a book, was it?
I think it was, but I'm not sure.
No, I think it was, but
I think it was.
It's not a remake or a sequel.
Right. So
Or
I'm okay. I'm okay with remakes, though. I kind of have a prejudice against them. Like when I see that it's a remake, I'm like, yeah, another remake. But there are some like legitimately good ones, right? Like 21 Jump Street was a hilarious remake,
albeit parental warning.
advisory.
It's a good VidAngel. It's a good VidAngel.
Good VidAngel watch.
So like I'm not like
cut out like half an hour of the movie though.
Well, you know, I'm not like totally against remakes. My thing is, if you're not either building on the original or going against expectations, the expectations that would be set by the original, then it's not going to be interesting because you're just remaking the original, and that doesn't need to be done.
Movies don't necessarily need the same kind of, or rather, you can't really appreciate a remake of a movie the same way you would like an HD remake of a video game, because those are popular right now too. Because at least in video games, they can make the controls less clunky, and visually you can take a big jump from something like a PlayStation 1 game to PlayStation 4. You don't see quite as big of a jump as far as visuals go in movies for most genres. I guess you could say some like old school sci-fi films like Planet of the Apes, there's very obvious differences there. And for the record, I love the new Planet of the Apes movies, but most often that's not the case.
Right. And those are more of sequels to the original rather than remakes.
Or soft reboots. Yeah.
Right. And that helps build upon the world of the originals. Tim, what are your thoughts overall on the remake?
Well, I think honestly we're seeing more remakes now. I think the remake era has shifted more towards television stuff.
That's fair.
Mean, it seems now that every other show, specifically on Frankie's favorite network, CBS, is a remake of something that's already happened.
Yeah.
We got like a Magnum PI thing happening. There's
Lethal
a lot
Weapon.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of like TV where they maybe they're demakes. I don't know. Where they've taken these like movies, then they turn them into TV shows for the modern era or something.
Yeah.
I think we are finally in the era where it's mostly like sequels that are basically what you guys just said, the soft reboot, where it's essentially a sequel. We have what's coming out this next week is a Predator sequel, which is officially a sequel to the original. Maybe the first two Predators, maybe kind of the third one.
Don't have much hope for that movie.
Yeah, I don't either. There's a Halloween sequel that is essentially erasing all 1,000 Halloween movies that they made.
Right.
Being a sequel to like the first one or two, maybe. I don't know. There's talks that what's his name? Neil Blomkamp is going to be doing an Aliens.
Yeah,
sequel, or is it scrubbed or is it not? I don't know. Yeah.
I don't
See,
know.
but
the
the reason why these remakes are so popular right now is because Tuna, like you mentioned, Annihilation didn't do. I'm trying to remember. It didn't do that well in the box office.
Yeah, I understand
Right.
the reason they.
Because it's a whole new concept, it's all new characters. You don't know what to expect when you
It's
tune
not
into the
safe.
Lethal Weapon television show. You know exactly what to expect. You know the characters that you're going to get. You know the tone, so they
Yeah.
know when they sign up for a remake that they're going to get one. I'm
You
not
know
saying
you're
it's a
gonna miss
good
Don
thing
Glover.
Audiences and producers go with the safer picks, and
for sure.
I can understand that. Doesn't mean that I have to like it.
No, for sure. Also, I also hope that we're past the nostalgia craze, because that's
yeah.
starting to get old too.
80s nostalgia, right?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll
I think
see.
we're finally into the 90s nostalgia.
We are. We're almost to
Hitting
the
the 90s
2000s.
nostalgia hard.
I'm
So,
not gonna lie. Once we get to that like early 2000s and like you know, it's like all Blink 182 in the soundtrack. I'm down for the nostalgia again. I'm down
No,
for it.
stop,
I'm in.
please.
Sign
No.
me up. I'll watch every single series.
I don't want to be
Prob-
reminded of my teenage years yet.
probably
Mid
if they,
2000s emo, man.
if they were gonna make a Guardians 3, it probably would have had a lot of 90s music in it. But
Ooh.
you know, we'll see.
We'll see. Well, let's go ahead and finish out by talking about the first season of Amazon's original Jack Ryan.
You do this often? Kidnapping people off the street and interrogate them.
You're my first one, actually. How am I doing? Shoot me. I drop this and we all die.
What exactly does a State Department supply chain logistician do?
They work behind the desk. They write reports.
That sounds...
Boring?
Dr. Ryan, I need you to come with me.
For what?
We have to go.
That is from the first season trailer of Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan on Amazon Prime right now. The IMDb synopsis is: an up-and-coming CIA analyst, Jack Ryan, is thrust into a dangerous field assignment as he uncovers a pattern in terrorist communication that launches him into the center of a dangerous gambit.
Ooh.
Yeah, gambit's not a word used often enough in movie descriptions or TV
Also a
descriptions.
Marvel superhero.
Also a Marvel superhero. Oh man, Tuna hasn't seen it, so he'll be the audience surrogate in this conversation. But Tim, what did you think of season 1 of Jack Ryan?
Well, overall, I loved it. Overall, I loved it.
How many
Loved it.
episodes? How many
I would say
episodes?
loved it. Yeah. It was 8.
8 or 9?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice and short and
Something
sweet.
easily binge.
Yes. And it was renewed before it aired for season 2.
Really?
8 episodes.
Yes.
Cool.
The rumor was that it was solely responsible for a ginormous spike in Amazon Prime membership before it even came out. So they
Crazy.
just said, we're renewing this thing. We're
All
keeping it forever.
I mean, they promoted this series way more than any other Amazon promo
yes.
ever. I mean, I want to say it was like January I started seeing.
Cost them to get the rights to it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It probably not as much as the Lord of the Rings show that Amazon's gonna make, yeah. But yeah. No, overall, I really did. I loved it. There was, there's a few parts here and there where there's line delivery issues where I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, I do one of those Jim Halpert takes into the camera, like.
Do you keep a camera in your house just for those moments when you're watching movies and TV shows?
That's what it is. I just look over and I'm like, so there was a few line delivery problems where I'm like, that was not sold very well.
No.
But overall, I think the story was right in line with what a modern Jack Ryan should be.
Yeah.
I think it's a great place for Jack Ryan to start. They start Jack Ryan where he should start, just as
Right.
an analyst, which is classic.
Although you could have a drinking game based on how many times he says that he's an analyst.
You
He's an
could
analyst. I'm just an analyst. What does an analyst do? Well, I mean, it's like,
analyze
okay,
these things.
we get it. You're an analyst. That's
The
awesome.
world's first analyst therapist.
Got
Arrested Development.
That's why we have you on the show too.
You could, yeah, right. You could for sure, but it was good. I think it's as long as they stop reminding people of that, and then he has another adventure. I think with like one tiny line of dialogue, they set up season 2 pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think season 2 is I think the American population is gonna be very interested in season 2.
Right.
Just overall because of current events and things. But it's classic Jack Ryan. There's like a terrorist thing going on. He's the guy who kind of figures it out because he's an analyst.
Of course.
He analyzes and figures it out.
And figures it out.
And it was good to see, like, when he got into different situations where he's like looking around, like looking through stuff, like, what's this? What's that? No, that's not true. His brain's like constantly going through all the information he has on the topic, and he's kind of picking it apart in his brain, and you don't see it happening on screen, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was enjoyable, and the action stuff I think was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good enough for a TV show. You know, it's like nothing crazy, but they didn't rely on a lot of like CG for stuff, so that was good.
Yes.
They used it where it was appropriate, but nothing too crazy. I will admit it took me like 4 episodes to realize that Jack Ryan and Jack Reacher are not the same thing.
One's played by Chris Pine, the other one's played by Tom Cruise.
Right.
In the movies.
Yeah.
And the last one's played by Jim Halpert.
Yes. Yeah, I did. Those movies are all so similar.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how close is this to being like actual like a prequel to A Quiet Place?
It's definitely the same world.
Okay,
definitely.
I figure cinematic universe.
Yeah. No, it's a solid TV show. It is exactly what it should be. Nothing more, nothing less. Like, it's not like, it's not like this is groundbreaking, gonna be like the best thing that you watch all year, but it's just a really solid show. It is rated TVMA, so
yes,
all of the MA things.
Yeah,
which language, violence, sexual content, what are we talking?
Yeah.
All 3.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which I will say they didn't say what it was rated MA for. They're just like, MA.
Yeah.
Get ready. And I would say some of the stuff they had in there didn't cause any character development to happen.
Sure.
It was barely plot servicing at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah. Huh? So it's a good vid angel.
Yeah.
It's a great vid angel watch.
Sounds good.
I'll say this is a show where like my family text message blew up with where everybody is watching it the week it came out. Nice. I was like my brother and maybe his wife. I don't know. It might have been a little too crazy. But my sisters, both of my sisters, and my parents finished binge watching it before everybody. I was like, what? Really? But my dad was like a huge Tom Clancy fan. He read tons of those books. So,
I mean, it definitely casts a wide net. Like, I don't know anybody that I could see like just not liking it.
Yeah. And I know, like, with the other week, Frankie had mentioned he didn't think people who are hardcore fans of the books would be into it, but I've talked to several very hardcore fans of the books since probably before we were all born.
Yeah.
And they loved it. Every single one that I talked to. So, it was pretty good stuff.
Well, there you go. If you've checked out Jack Ryan, let us know what you think. Or if you hate remakes, like, I mean, same thing, like we do, let us know. Check us out on Twitter at 3CriticsPod, facebook.com/IncredibleCritics, I think. New episodes are out Tuesdays at noon. So you can check us out on our videos there. Or you can see, it early on YouTube. But next week, who knows what we'll be doing on the Incredible Critics.
So now that the show is over, let's give the people what they really want, Ben, and talk about some secrets. I have some secrets to share from when you were my professor at college.
Oh boy. So for anybody that doesn't know, I was a professor while Tuna was a student, even though I never had you for a class, I don't think.
No, you had for web design.
Web design, that's right. Okay.
Broadcasting, which is where this story comes from.
Okay, sports broadcasting. Set the scene.
So, for whatever reason, the school thinks it's a good idea to give a bunch of broadcasting students a bus to take to Indiana to shoot basketball, right? And it was me, Michael McGarry, Andres, and a couple other people. Do you remember them?
I don't remember Andres, but go on. Was I on set?
Sorry,
trip?
Andres. We know you listen.
You were not on that trip.
Okay.
Stephen Jane was there, I think, too. He was on that one. And we're leaving the venue of the basketball game that we just finished, sports broadcasting, and Andres goes in the back and of the bus, and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm going to change real quick," because he was in some kind of different outfit. I don't remember the reason why, but we're like, all right, whatever. And we start driving, and then all of a sudden he's like, "Hey guys, look!" And we all turn back, and he's just naked, standing in the back of the bus, and we all are just like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like freaking out. And the buses, the Valley Forge buses have those huge windows, and this is we're at a women's basketball tournament. I'm like, "Get your clothes on, you idiot!" I'm glad that wasn't found out while we were in school, or we probably would have gotten in trouble. And the other secret is of our VIP listener, Joe Carrion.
Secrets.
Joe, I'm revealing something.
Fair warning, I'll probably be taking the first one out just in case. Because I still technically work for Valley Forge.
Do you really?
Yeah, I teach adjunct.
Well, now it's on YouTube. It's too late.
Too late.
I mean, to be fair, this was years ago. And it was
not
2011.
All right, so what's the one about Joe?
So I'm about to reveal a secret of Joe Carrion. It's nice. I mean, it's not really a secret. It's a secret to you guys. He has a kid, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Do you know his child's name?
No.
His child's name is Nolan. For the very reason that you are thinking right now.
Stop it. He did not name his child Nolan after Christopher Nolan. Stop it.
His kid's middle name. His first name is Joseph Nolan Carrion. But they call him Nolan to separate, between him and his father. So, and he's named after his favorite director, Christopher Nolan.
Joe, you are so what I believe the kids refer to as extra.
I'm sorry, Joe. I know you told me never to tell. But
that's next level right there.
It's for the people.
That is next level.
Next level.
Frankie can no longer call me Christopher Nolan's biggest fan. That's all I have to say on the topic.
Joe, if you ever listen to this part, you probably won't. He's probably going to edit it past this, but I told him this so that you could earn the title of VIP listener.
You're VIP
platinum because
platinum
for the team.